All right, so here we are. We've got, what we're doing here is I've got two telephones in the scene, although this video is going to be about this telephone here on the left.
The power of the dark side.
So what we have here is a Samsung Galaxy S5, and we're going to be doing a review in 2017 regarding the Samsung Galaxy S5, and we're going to use the Samsung Galaxy S7 here as a comparison. The reason that I'm making this review video is because initially I was attempting to replace the S5 with some other phone, and the S7 seemed like a natural evolution, although I've already been through an S7 Edge and I've sold it. So what I'm going to do here, the S5 is very difficult to replace, and actually if these two were the same price, obviously I would say go with the S7. However, they're not the same price. You can get a Galaxy S5 for $150, $200, and I would say that the S5, which is the flagship of, 2015, is equally as good as some of the mid-tier phones of 2017, which are $400 plus. So basically the point of my video is, if you're sort of in the mid-tier category, why not save yourself another $100 or $200 and just go ahead and find yourself a good Samsung Galaxy S5. You can still buy these things. You can't get them at Best Buy, but you can get them at B&H. You can still buy these on Straight Talk. So there's really a lot to love about this phone. First of all, it's only 1080p, but it's got the Super AMOLED display, which quite honestly, and I've done some other picture quality comparisons, you can't tell the difference. It's not a noticeable difference between Quad HD and regular HD. Okay, so that's one selling point of the S7, that it's got Quad HD, and the S7 does not do HDR, but if you compare these two screens, I mean, basically it's hard to tell the difference. You see how great the black is since they're OLED screens. And what's interesting, now I've got a lot of glare here because I've got these lights right above me. Now from my vantage point, the S7 actually presents a little bit more glare. One reason is going to be because, as you'll notice, and it's probably because the Gorilla Glass has to be a little bit thicker in order to be stronger, but they have a beveled edge on the glass of the S7, okay, which they do not on the S5. So over here it's a flat piece of glass, and over here we've got a piece of glass with a beveled edge, which means not only do you get reflections from the phone, but much like the S7 Edge, when you get off to the sides of the phone, you get a glare line running down the side of the phone, and of course you get a little bending of the reflection in the picture. On the S5 you just don't get that because it is a flat piece of glass just positioned into the body of the telephone. And as you'll notice, although these are the same size telephones, the S5 now it appears to be a little larger, which it might be, okay, but it's almost imperceptible, possibly just a squeak bit wider, same height. Well, and therefore, okay, the bezels are a little bit bigger on the S5 over here, but the screen, if you have a black phone, say that the bezels on the top and the bottom and the sides match the black, which I use a black background here, is you'll notice the screen on the S5 actually has a larger appearance. So it appears larger. Okay, now here's the fact. The fingerprint scanner on the S7 is better, and there's just no doubt about it. So on the S7, if you're used to an S5, it's going to take you a while to quit doing this. and you're going to this will not catch that, because this one you just have to do this. So you just touch it, pow. On the S5 you got to do that little number, but it works fine. It just is it's a little bit trickier. You have to use two hands, but quite honestly much better than having the fingerprint sensor on the back. I think this is a far better design, and so therefore when you look into moving up to an S8, then you've got the fingerprint sensor on the back, so you're going to have to deal with that. So fingerprint sensor is better on the S7, works fine on the S5, and of course the S4 did not have the fingerprint sensor. So the S5 was quite an upgrade from the S4. So you got the fingerprint sensor. Of course with the S7 they've brought back the memory card slot, which is nice, but let me tell you this, the S5 is also better in that area, because with the S7 you have to have your memory card slot tool, which you have right here. So you have to have a tool, okay? Now you can put that on your keychain, this tool, but you have to have a tool. So if you don't have that on your keychain, you need to get your memory card out. You're going to have to go get a paper clip, whereas on the S5 here, the memory card is in the back. We'll take the back off in a second when we talk about the battery. The memory card and the SIM card go next to the battery in the back, so there is no tray to lose and there is no card to lose. We'll look at the tray and the card here in just a moment. I mean, you basically can't believe how small these SIM cards have gotten. Now they're using what's called a nano SIM. All right, and that's it. That's the nano SIM, okay? So for size comparisons, the nano SIM is about the same size as, no, that's a USB 3.0, but there's just a USB cable. Look at that. That thing's tiny. All right. So in my opinion, it's a better setup to have this card inside the phone as opposed to in a tray that slides into the phone, because what if you take the tray out and you lose the tray? There is no tray on the S5 to lose. So we've got that. Now, of course, we've got the removable battery. The S5 has got a removable battery. You cannot remove the battery over here, but on the S5, you've got a little slot. Just pop your fingernail in, and now we're going to gain access to the SIM card and the memory card as well. So we're just going to pop that back off. There's the back. There's your removable battery, and here is your micro SIM card. It's not a nano SIM, so it's a little bit bigger than that one. All right, and then as you see underneath it, you've got your the micro SIM card is on the bottom, the memory card is on the top. See, we've got a 65 gig memory card in here, so it's an S5 expandable memory, S7 expandable memory. However, we can swap the battery over here, so we can go from 0 to 100 and 0, as opposed to, now here's another one. Check this out. The Samsung Galaxy S5 has got USB 3.0, which means that it'll do fast charging. So USB 3.0, pow. Okay, there it is. The S7 has regular micro USB, USB 2.0. All right. But of course, what a lot of people might not know is you can also use a micro USB 2.0 charging cable in the right side of the slot. See? All right, so you've got that. All right, so we see where the battery is, we see where the SIM and the memory card go. And then what's the other beautiful thing? The Samsung Galaxy S7 is waterproof, IP68. The Galaxy S5 also, I believe, IP68. Now, of course, the back has to be on. So we have to have the back on, and not only that, there's another little thing that we have to do. Of course, you've always got your back on. So, alright, the Samsung Galaxy S5 also had a little, there's a little door right here. Okay, that's obviously on backwards. Okay, now on mine, the door has come off, alright, but if we can just get it on there, and maybe we're backwards again. But the point is, that has to go into position like that, and then when you've got that into position, now, obviously that little thing is a pain in the rear end. I never liked it, okay, so I'm not saying I like it. But there it is, okay. That makes the phone waterproof. So in that condition, this phone has the same IP68 rating as this one. Yeah, I've got to take a look at that. Because as you see, this is typically attached right here. So mine has fallen off. So that's a little drawback, is that your little door might fall off. But here's what's beautiful about the little door. It also keeps the dust and sand out of the port right there. Obviously with the S7, the waterproofing starts on the other side of the port. That's why the speaker on the S7 does not sound nearly as good as the S5. Because on the S5, the speaker is on the back, but the waterproofing kind of goes around it. So you've got that. You've got the waterproofing. Here's another thing. Although this will do wireless charging, the S7, so also will the S5. It will also do wireless charging. You just have to purchase an extra thing, which I believe installs on the inside of the back here. So I mean, you really do have a lot of benefits with the Samsung Galaxy S5. There are a lot of reasons why you would still purchase this phone, why this phone is highly relevant today, and by the way, why this may be one of the best phones that has come out in the last several years. Samsung is they're really rocking, because the S7 here is awesome. But in comparison with the S5, it's not a huge upgrade. As a matter of fact, if you're a real battery hog, it's not an upgrade at all, because this has a 3,000 milliamp battery. The S7 Edge is what you want, because that's got a 3,600 milliamp battery. I believe this has a 2,800 milliamp battery. However, because of the software, I suspect you'll get better battery life over here than you will on the S7. I've used this for a couple of days. I've used this for quite a while, and those couple of days the battery was draining pretty quick on this. So we're going to stop there. And then we'll talk about cases and just a few other things. And basically, I'm just going to say, look, if you're looking for a mid-end phone, go ahead and find yourself a Samsung Galaxy S5. Now let me tell you this. On much more expensive phones, the screen in particular is not going to look as good as this phone. These Samsung AMOLED displays are the best looking displays you can possibly get. So if you're a display person, you definitely need to be looking at the Samsung.